Ahoy hoy everyone, hopefully you're well. In this video I want to talk about why I train the way that I train and why I choose to do full body over any other split. Now I'll start off by saying that I've had success with many splits. I've done bro splits and I had a really good competitive bodybuilding career. I've done push-pull legs, I've done upper lower, and I've even done random customizable hybrid routines like FAT from Layne Norton, power hypertrophy adaptive training. If you have the right execution, effort and consistency, then any split will work. It just comes down to your lifestyle and preference. But I'll tell you why I like the full body split. Now initially I tried full body and I didn't like it. There were some cons which I'll go into later, but it's only now where I truly value and appreciate full body splits. And the reason why I appreciate full body splits is because it allows me to get enough stimulus and enough recovery. I train 3 times a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and I have 4 days off. And that Monday, Wednesday, Friday, it just fits into my lifestyle, being a husband, a father of 2, work, and any other responsibilities that you accumulate once you reach your 40s, 50s, 60s, etc., etc. Also, my goals are different now. At the start of my lifting career, I chased aesthetics. It was at the forefront. And then I shifted to powerlifting and strength training. Now I'm in a little bit in the middle for both. I prioritize my health, my longevity, my joint integrity, and I really prioritize and appreciate my multiply my relative strength. And a byproduct of that, when I get really strong, is I look leaner, I just look better. So I still care about how I look, but it's not a huge emphasis on that. And I think full body really caters to that. See, the way I think about training is different to most people. So depending on what exercise I'm doing, it has different goals. So when I do stuff like plantar or dorsiflexion exercises or hamstring curls or knee curls, whatever you want to call them, it's more for a joint integrity, longevity sort of thing. When it comes to squats and deadlifts, they're from a fun and performance standpoint. And then when it comes to shoulders and arms, for example, it's more from an aesthetic standpoint. And this is why I always start from the ground up. I start from a plantar or dorsiflexion exercise and I finish off with either something with a flexion, extension, or abduction. And while I do like to think that I'm pretty methodical with my training and how I structure it, this came on by accident. I was forced to train first thing in the morning. Not necessarily forced to, but I'd rather take my time out of the day than my family's time out of the day. And because I train first thing upon waking with limited to no calories, I can't just go and squat straight away or deadlift straight away. I'll go into Snap City. So what I have to do is have to do some sort of plantar or dorsiflexion followed by a knee curl. And that's going to get my ankles and knees warmed up for the squat. And while I do appreciate my athletic pursuits more so than my aesthetic pursuits, the way that I've structured my training, I get a touch of aesthetics regardless whether I do the aesthetic movements or not. I.e. through press, I'm getting some tricep work. Through my deadlift variations, if I'm doing a snatch grip deadlift, for example, I'm getting a little bit of isometric contraction on my side delts. Also, I'm not really married to any sort of exercise. I chop and change whenever I want, despite what the fitness industry will tell you. They'll tell you things like never change exercise from session to session. But I'm going to milk out the squats and deadlifts until I get bored. But it'll always be those variations. So I might go from a high bar squat to a front squat. I might go from a conventional deadlift to an RDL. I'm also not emotionally attached to what the weight is on the bar. I let auto regulation, the velocity of the bar, take care of all of that. But don't get it twisted, I'm also analytical and I'm keeping track of my progress. And when I zoom out, the overall tonnage is increasing. In saying all that, full body isn't magical and there are cons to it, but I've done my homework in advance. I've said this in the past, but the night before, I set up everything so that when I come into the gym, I'm ready to go. I've also sequenced my exercises in a way that makes the workout flow in a manner that is very timely. For example, I start the day with a tibia raise, come here to the leg curl, then go to the squat, and after the squat, go to the deadlift. And as you know, the squat and deadlift use similar musculature. You might be thinking, well, wouldn't that be fatiguing and you won't get as much out of the deadlift? Yes and no. See, my squat volume, i.e. sets and reps, is very low, same with my deadlift, that combined, it might not be as much as the average person's squat and deadlift volume. In a nutshell, this is why I lift the way that I lift and I choose to do full body splits. It's based on my experience, based on my advancement. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns or some sort of disagreement, feel free to leave it in the comment section and I'll see you in the next one.